The conversation started with her screaming that a ghost was in the house and the house was haunted.
Because I caught my man cheating, so I burned his house down.
We paid her based on her word, but now know that her brother did not die, and she was lying from day one.
Oh, this is The Bad Hire, the show with the best stories about the worst employees.
We fired him, of course.
People are crazy.
It's like an HR nightmare.
Right? One bad hire stole all of it.
Crazy stuff. She got what she deserved.
Oh. I'm your host, Ken Monroe, and every week we dive into real-life stories from the wild world of work and what can happen when the wrong person gets the job. These stories aren't just crazy, they're cautionary tales about lessons learned the hard way. Let's get started. Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Bad Hire, the show with the best stories about the worst employees. So welcome back, guys. I'm happy to have you. This is Morgan and Emma.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Yeah. So we good to get back.
Yep.
It's been a while. We took a little bit of break for the holidays.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that it'll be a break when the release schedule, but we didn't.
Yeah.
We haven't shot since before Christmas, so I don't know. It's fun.
We shot last week, not last week, but week before last.
We did.
With Nathan, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
I believe
I was just telling you
I know, I
guys
believe
that
it.
they're like. I watched clips. I watched some clips, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I don't remember that. I don't remember
Yeah.
doing that. I don't remember
know,
sending
right?
that." Yeah, it's pretty funny. Oh my gosh! So you know the drill. Every week we dive into the wildest and weirdest, some jaw-dropping stories for real. You guys shocked me at what you scrounged up. But what's really kind of cool right now is that um, we're starting to get a lot of submissions and a lot of guest requests, and we're getting submissions online. Our email outreach to people that we think would be great on the show is starting to do results. I think we have how many guests in the
Pipeline
right now that we're interviewing?
65 active guests in the pipeline right now.
Wow.
So a lot
65.
of interest. Yeah.
65 guests, 65 people lined up to try to come on the show. And so what we're doing now is we're shooting some segments with them instead of coming and trying to coordinate everyone's schedule to get here on the couch. You know, one of the producers, you or Nathan, you guys or Nathan, reach out to them and do a one-on-one segment with them and just get to know them and then let them tell their stories. And it sounds like it's working pretty well and it's
For sure.
pretty cool. I think we played one. Now I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because we played we played the clip from the recruiter from Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a nutso. So those are starting to line up and stack up, and so we encourage you to keep going. You know, if you've got a story you want to be on the show, you can be interviewed in a segment. One of our producers will reach out to you, or you can submit a story online. You know, we've got a young man, Corey, who'll reach out to you if you respond. He's going to reach out to you, try to set up a time to just quickly talk to you, help you understand what it's about, and then he'll book you into a time for the segment. And so that's what he does. Now you could win $10,000 if you give us the best story of the year.
Yeah.
Right. So you submit the best story, whether you tell it on video, you write it, and we tell it. Either way, you could win $10,000. We're excited about that. Yeah.
Why not give it a shot?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get started. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So now, where did this story come from?
Which one? The first one?
The ghosting candidate.
I'm not sure. I don't think it was submitted to us.
I don't know. I'd have to go pull it up.
Because normally if it's been submitted, I'll make a note.
Okay, because
I don't
this
think
sounds
this
like I'm going to read the story, but it sounds like someone's trying to be a mystery writer, or it really spooks me out. So either way, I don't know that it's about a terrible employee, but it's about kind of a weird experience. And so but when I read it, I was like, okay, not 100% here, but
It could have also been an anonymous submitted story, so I'll look for it while you tell it.
it doesn't really matter. But
Okay.
have you read it?
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, you can.
I have to react.
Yes, so you react to it afterwards. I scheduled a call with a candidate for a software engineer role whose name was Cy. There was no photo on LinkedIn. So I was unsure of gender or anything else. So I called at the time scheduled, and a woman answered. Okay, That makes sense. The conversation started with her screaming that a ghost was in the house and the house was haunted.
In her house?
Yeah. So
Okay.
call someone for an interview. Someone answers, they're screaming about a ghost. She was
Oh.
very scared and even wanted me to give her advice on what to do. And she didn't want me to hang up the phone as she was afraid to be alone. I don't think they even know this is the candidate, who this is. She told me that she didn't want to go outside because the ghost was going to hunt for her, as happens in American horror stories, she says.
It sounds like the show we watch. What Supernatural?
Oh, yeah. That does sound very.
Okay, so is this a spoof off a show?
Yeah, right.
After several minutes of listening to her scream and trying to calm her, I finally hung up thinking I would just add this to my Rolodex of like creepy recruiting stories, which is kind of funny in and of itself. I know recruiters have probably stacks of these
Yeah.
weird recruiting stories. On the following day, I received an email from the same candidate saying that they didn't receive any call at the scheduled time. I told them that I did call and a woman answered, and even checked with them that the phone number was correct, and it was. We scheduled again, and when I called, a man answered. That was the real candidate, and said that the phone never rang the previous day. We had our conversation normally and moved him forward in the process, although he was finally not selected. But to this moment, I never found out who I talked to that day.
That's really creepy.
And he said that there wasn't like anybody else in the house with
Yeah,
him?
he just said
like,
the phone never rang.
That's creepy.
She had
That's
called the
really
wrong-
creepy.
Maybe she called the wrong number.
Maybe.
Someone just like,
Pranked him.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
or
maybe so,
something.
but still, like to call the
Yeah.
wrong number and that's who answers and that's what she says.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, that freaked me out
that's still
too.
really, really
Yeah.
creepy.
I got the number of times when you're just doing these kind of random interviews and like you're just calling a complete stranger. It is an absolute crapshoot on who's going to be the other end.
Yeah.
You're looking at a resume, so
Yeah.
they're writing beautiful things about themselves. You get them on the
Yeah.
phone, they're like, who is this person? Have you ever seen some of those clips of on TikTok or something where the guys he like does these like he'll get on an interview
Oh yes.
and he just
yes.
messes with recruiters,
Mhm.
and I feel so bad for them that he wastes their time.
Yeah.
I always say if it happened to me, I would hope that I would like just be a good sport about it. Just
Yeah.
like play along,
Because some
If you
people
got a,
won't
if you got a
be.
busy day and you're
Yeah.
and you're driving hard and you waste some time, but he
Yeah.
he'll be at a drive-through eating, and she'll like, you're at a drive-through. No, I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
He just
Wait, does he
Excellent.
schedule these interviews?
he schedules these interviews, then he
Oh
puts
my
himself in
God.
some odd place and then swears he's not there, and she's like, you're eating. He's like, I'm not.
He's just rage baiting him very much. Yeah.
Totally.
Wow.
Right. And I gotta credit many of them. What gets me is here's what tells you the life of a recruiter is very challenging, and they see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
When you watch the front of that, right, the first 30 seconds him acting a fool,
Yeah.
they stay professional in most cases. They stay professional and just try to keep it moving. And you're like, it's clearly a troll,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
the recruiter's staying locked in, and it's only after like it's gone to the extreme that the
Yeah.
recruiter's like, okay,
Come on,
dude.
Yeah.
You're like,
All right, where are the
it's what
cameras?
they must see
Yeah.
to stay locked in that long. Like
Yeah.
you watch it on TikTok, you're like, total troll right off the bat. You're laughing
Yeah.
within the first 10 seconds, and they're staying locked in.
I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
either.
There's no way.
No.
I don't know. Anyway, kudos to those. Just
For sure.
whatever I see, that just shows me how much they probably put up. Before we dive back into the chaos on the bad hire, this episode is brought to you by BChex. Hiring shouldn't feel like rolling the dice. Background checks should come with great tech, seamless integration, and customer service that delivers. That's BChex. Lightning fast results, unmatched accuracy, built-in fraud prevention. We help you hire the right people. Now, BChex plugs into over 100 HRIS and ATS systems, so your background checks run smooth, fast, and backed by top-level service. Protect your team, protect your reputation, protect your sanity. Go to BChex.io. That's BChex.io. The magician of this story was what we called it the magician. Once upon a okay, this has got to be a submitted story because someone's trying to be.
I don't think this is.
I don't.
Where did it come from?
I think this
was-
is a Reddit one.
It was
Okay, so well,
something that
someone
we
wrote
pushed
this.
from last time that we didn't get to film.
Okay, so someone wrote this, and sometimes they try to be creative with their writing. Either way, I love them all, so we'll try it anyway. Once upon a full moon, we had to reject a candidate after an on-site interview. The process went forward with little fanfare or drama, but the real twist was later revealed. The candidate was moonlighting as a magician. It's okay.
Okay.
It's worth noting that this was not the reason for the rejection. Okay. You're a magician? Oh, I'm sorry. We don't take magicians.
Yeah. Does
Why
it
would
say
they
what
note that?
position he was applying for?
Do what?
Does it say what position?
Sir, this is a job.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
This is a
But
chili.
it says- it was worth noting that that's not the reason. We didn't, okay, but who doesn't love a little magic from time to time? A little while later, a new candidate appeared in our recruiting pipeline. This candidate had some striking similarities to the old magician friend. Tiptoeing forward cautiously, we asked if there was any relation to, or if they knew the magician candidate. What came next made our jaws hit the floor and solidified his place in our collection of weird recruiting stories. The candidate proceeded to tell us that the magician candidate was none other than his identical twin brother. Obviously, we were hesitant to believe this. I mean, what are the odds of having identical twin brothers following the same career path and applying for the same position?
Yeah.
To back up his claim, the candidate then whipped out his phone to show us doctored photos and fake social media profiles. It's probably set up there the day before.
Yeah.
Our recruiters were too sharp to be fooled. The magician then showed us his real despairing trick, ghosting us after that encounter.
This reminds me of Impractical Jokers when they try and have as many disguises as they can to check in for an
Oh my
interview
gosh,
to
yeah.
see how long it will take them to realize it's a different person. Like it's the same
See the
person.
recruiter?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
God.
like
Yeah.
they're like checking in
For like an
somewhere, and they
interview
have like
or-
the check-in person
Yeah.
at the desk,
Right.
and they walk in wearing a certain disguise,
Right.
and they have, and then they come around and walk back through again in a different disguise and see if the
This
check-in
is-
person notices.
This
that
is
it's the
exactly
same
that.
person.
Like,
It's never happened to me, but it surely happened.
Yeah.
Surely this happens where people just kind of reinvent themselves and try to reapply.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whoop, didn't do good in the interview, but I learned. I'll just try again.
for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right, Morgan, I think you're up.
Yeah. All right. My first story is titled The Felon with a Heart. So it's not a horror story, but a heartbreak story. I was at a job fair years ago hiring for logistics employees when this young man comes up to me and asks me if we hire felons. I told him that it depended on whether the felon would be considered work related or not, or the felony. For example, felony DUI would not hinder him for working for us since he was not a truck driver. He proceeded to tell me that he just finished a 5-year sentence for distribution of drugs and his girlfriend was pregnant when he went in. He got out and only wants to focus on taking care of his daughter. It was his main focus in life, and that broke my heart. We couldn't hire him, but I sure wish we had made that exception. That was a submitted story, right?
I don't think that one was.
Really?
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So someone posted that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this has actually got a cool story. I mean, there's
Yeah.
kind of a cool vibe in here to this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that it's been 5 years. Tell me, he
Yeah.
just finished a 5-year sentence, so he's just out. And for distribution of drugs, and she's wanting to see if she can help, but
Yeah.
and what's interesting in here is it does outline how some companies think, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And how they're supposed to think, and that is it job related? Some would say that many are job related. There's lots of reasons how it could be job related, but is it job related in a since they're not driving,
Yeah.
they can have a DUI. But when you go distribution of drugs, typically an organization or company is going to want some more time to burn off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Before they see them. You hope they would do like an individualized assessment or personal, and instead of just rejecting them totally, would give them a chance to tell their story. Who knows
Yeah.
when he was in prison. He could have gone back to school. He could have gotten his GED. Could have taken
Yeah.
all types of classes,
Mhm.
and really worked hard during his 5 years to
Yeah.
that you could take into account. But I don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't even
I like
consider
her
that a
art.
bad hire. I
I
feel
like
like
her
it's
art here.
just like in the process hire
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully he'll be a super great hire
yeah,
in the future.
Yeah.
for sure. All right. My next one is titled "It's All Up in Flames Now." We were in final rounds with a woman for an in-house designer role. She was a very promising candidate. We get back the offer on the table, and she says the final step is just a background check. There's dead silence on the phone, and finally the woman says, "Well, I have to go ahead and admit that I won't pass a criminal background check." We ask her why, and she says, "Because I caught my man cheating, so I burned his house down." At least she's honest.
Good for her.
But
yeah, no, okay.
yeah.
Man.
So I feel like you could take that multiple ways. I mean, I don't know if she got the job or not.
I don't know.
I mean,
Can you imagine the end of so oh my gosh.
I mean, what do you say
Straight up.
back? You're like, oh, okay. Okay.
I'm glad she told the truth, though. I mean,
Yeah. At least she's honest.
Her designer role too. So like she's
Yeah.
like a creative, like
Right.
probably
because what
not
if she didn't
the-
say anything and the background check comes back and they're like, so, why do you have like an
arson
arson charge?
Hoping it slips through.
literally maybe
Yeah.
attempted murder. if
No,
he was
I-
in there.
She did the right thing.
Yeah.
She did the right thing.
Yeah. She's honest.
She talked about it up front, said what it was, and gave them an opportunity to ask some questions.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying she did the right thing.
No.
by burning his house down.
We cannot promote
No,
arson on this
no.
channel.
No, Emma. Emma was like, "Go, girl. You do it."
Good for her.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No. Oh my gosh. All right, Emma. What do you got?
Me? Okay, I've got two today. Both of my stories were submitted for
Okay.
our contest, but they wanted to stay anonymous. So I'm not gonna say like who submitted it or anything. This first one sounds like really ominous. Like it's not super specific.
Gotcha.
But I'm gonna read it anyway. I still remember how confident I felt the day we made the offer. On paper, this hire was perfect. Impressive resume, strong interview answers, glowing references. They spoke our language, understood our mission, and assured us they'd hit the ground running. After months of searching, it felt like a win. Spoiler alert, it was not a win. Within the first few weeks, small
It's
red...
like famous like last words in a good hire, right,
Yeah.
or a bad hire. After months of searching,
Yeah.
it felt like a win
Yeah.
when we hired this person.
Within the first few weeks, small red flags began to surface. Deadlines were missed, communication was vague, tasks that should have taken hours dragged into days. At first, I blamed onboarding, then the workload, then myself. I doubled down on support, offered clear instructions, adjusted timelines, anything to make it work. Instead of improving, things quietly unraveled. Projects stalled because others had to redo their work, team morale dipped as frustration grew, meetings became tense with more energy spent managing problems than building solutions. What hurt most wasn't just the lost productivity, it was the slow erosion of trust within the team. The biggest lesson came when I realized the issue wasn't skill, it was alignment. This person didn't take ownership. Feedback was met with defensiveness instead of curiosity. Accountability was always redirected, never absorbed. What we thought was confidence turned out to be overconfidence, and what we assumed was experience masked as unwillingness to adapt. By the time we made the difficult decision to part ways, the cost was far greater than their salary. We had lost time, momentum, and a sense of psychological safety within the team. Rebuilding took months. That bad hire changed how I lead forever. Now I listen more closely to how candidates talk about failure, not just success. I prioritize values and accountability over polish. And I trust early signals instead of explaining them away. It was an expensive lesson, but one that reshaped our hiring process for the better.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I thought it was worded very well.
Yeah.
I just felt like it wasn't super specific on like,
And I think it was probably because she was trying to maintain that,
Yeah.
like trying
Well,
to be
there's-
anonymous.
Yeah.
and I guess
Was this a
also she
submitted
was trying to be
story, someone submitted
relatable
this?
because I'm sure that there's been.
Where did this come from?
This is a submitted.
submitted
It
to
is?
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this, who wrote this is not just telling a story, but like trying to help you understand like how
Yeah.
you could be better. Because she's
Yeah.
figuring out like, listen, here's what I
'Cause that's
did.
kind
She
of the
lists
point.
out things she got early warning signs.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because that's
So
kind of the point of the show, anyways, to learn from
yeah,
the
well,
sure.
have
to tell
fun.
to learn from the
Yeah.
to learn from the
'Cause you
stories
were
that
just
we
laughing at
tell.
someone burning down their house.
Yeah.
But
And like to keep her like anonymous still, the industry that she works in, because we do know who the individual is, she just doesn't want everybody else to know.
yeah,
It's a super important industry. Safety is super important,
yeah.
and I think like whatever happened must have been a big enough deal for her to write
Yeah.
this for her
When you've got
industry,
somebody
for sure.
failing and then not taking accountability and then resisting back and getting
Mhm.
defensive, she's right to point out it just starts deteriorating the entire team. And
Yeah.
I remember talking about skills versus behaviors, traits and behaviors, and this is a traits and behaviors mishire. And skills can skills don't necessarily lead the way, or I don't think they lead the way when you hire someone, because this is certainly someone who probably was high on the skills
Yeah.
list
Yeah.
And
just
and
failed
I
everywhere
understand how
else.
they probably wanted to like also respect the privacy of the person that they were talking about.
Probably.
So
Yeah.
the way that the story was worded
Yeah.
sounded super professional.
Yeah,
you
you can
know.
tell written by somebody very professional.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some good learning there.
Mhm.
Really,
For
I
sure.
loved how she or he, I don't actually know, said they overlooked early warning signs in the interview
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. What's next?
The next one is called "The Ghost of Insurance Past."
Oh wait, another ghost story.
It was
Same
submitted
show?
for our contest,
Okay. All right. I love
but they
that.
wanted to stay anonymous.
Okay.
So
Crossing my fingers for them.
okay. I was hiring a benefits manager in Q4 2025. I considered myself lucky to find a great candidate with almost 30 years of experience. She joined on a Thursday, did orientation, and then came back Friday for training. That Sunday night, she called and told me that her brother had passed away and she needed to go to New York for a week. I work for a generous company with a great culture, so we went ahead and paid her 3 days of bereavement, a holiday because it was Thanksgiving week, and a vacation day because she had earned a half day. I checked on her well being frequently while she was away. The following Monday, she asked to work remote because her flight had arrived late. I agreed and told her to do online training. She showed up Tuesday. On Wednesday, she came in, picked up her check, and said she'd be right back, and she never returned.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't answer our calls or texts and had us very worried. We called her emergency contact. They did like a police well-being check on her
Yeah.
or whatever, and still didn't hear anything back. When her next check was due, it was a paper check, and then she called us raging that her check hadn't been direct deposited. She called the Department of Labor, cussed us all out, called incessantly, etc. We paid her based on her word, but now know that her brother did not die, and she was lying from day one.
Oh my gosh.
It's like that one guy that lied and said that his mom died,
Oh yeah.
and then his mom like called.
It was like, hey, is he okay?
There was another-
Yeah.
Or there was also one where she was like, "Oh, my husband died," and then
she
her
acted
husband.
sad the whole time.
Yeah, and then her
everybody
husband.
felt bad.
Yeah, her husband called the office and asked for her.
This is crazy.
It's deaths in the family happen a lot around the holidays, and to extend out the holidays.
Really?
It's crazy. I just think it's an insane thing to lie about to get.
How
to
many
work.
family members
How
do you
good
have
was
to lie
that
about,
company though? Look at they pay bereavement.
Yeah.
They give her a half a day PTO right off the bat.
Mhm.
What
So-
happens if your papa actually dies, though?
Yeah,
You know,
for real.
What do you
You're
do
like,
then?
you have I have they I don't know. It's crazy when people do that, and
Yeah.
they do it to get time off.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's crazy.
I don't know. But what I liked about that story was how good the company was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they're sending all these signals that they're a really good company. Their first thing was after
They're
she doesn't
super-
show, their thing isn't to think bad. It's like
Yeah.
be worried about her. Like
Yeah.
something. They must have
Super
thought
generous,
they
and
they
then
just
took
Yeah.
advantage
they're
of
like,
it.
yeah, this isn't their person. They didn't think negative. They thought, oh no, something must be wrong. Call the police and do a
Yeah.
welfare check.
I mean, she was a benefits manager too, so
Yeah.
Like,
and
that's
so
what
they
she was gonna
were.
be.
Then they give her the time.
yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. And then, boy, she turned around on them, and that I'm sure that was a complete and utter shock, because it sounds like a great culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is that it?
Yep.
Yeah.
that's all I got.
Those were good.
Yeah.
How are we looking on our submitted stories?
We got a lot.
Good. I think Next time we film, they're all going to be submissions.
Is that right? It's kind of fun. It's been fun to watch
I
this
think
kind
so.
of.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like 19 times into this, so
Yeah.
it's been a little bit of a labor of love just to keep going when
Yeah.
no one's paying attention,
Yeah.
and then people start paying attention, and you start seeing, submitted stories, people reaching out saying, "Hey, I'd like to tell a story, be on the show,"
Yeah.
all that stacking up. It would be. Hopefully, we'll soon be in a place where we can play clips of people telling their stories.
Oh, we have lots in the
and-
queue right now.
Yeah, and then also, and still read a few where people
Yeah,
who don't,
for
who just
sure.
want to submit stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun because you guys were doing a lot of internet research trying to find stories,
Yes.
and there's,
Yeah.
everyone's got a
So
story.
it's very time
I
consuming.
can't tell you the number of times people have said to me. I was talking to a CEO the other day
Mhm.
of another background screening company,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Yeah, everybody's got a story." I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, you're right. Everybody who's been hiring's got a story."
Yeah.
And he loved the idea of what we were doing, and he goes, "I've got one. I want," and so I
Yeah.
think he's gonna do a segment,
Awesome.
Yeah.
and
It doesn't matter what industry you're in, too. Everybody has some sort of story. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all across the board where you can have a bad hire. So,
yeah. So I love the traction we're getting, and the views we're getting,
Mhm.
not necessarily on the podcast itself.
Yeah.
It's not like a podcast you call and listen to for like, 2-3 hours a day, like
Yeah.
a news source, but
Mhm.
we're using that to turn all these stories into clips, and they're really getting a lot of traction online. So I love the idea of people enjoying the clips of the show. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Sure.
All right, so that's it for today. So thanks for listening to The Bad Hire, and please subscribe, rate, review us, share it, and don't forget your story could win $10,000. So submit them. If you get an email from us, respond to it. Say, "Hey, I'd love to be on the show." Think of one of those. Everybody's got a stories,
Yep.
and get on. You'll talk to Morgan, Emma, or Nathan. And they'll interview you and just do a segment for the show, and you'll see it spin on here, and we'll react to it. It could be super cool for you. Or you can just submit one. You don't want to do that. You want to be anonymous, but you want to submit a story like the one today. Just submit it. At the end of the season, we'll pay $10,000 to the winner of
Mhm.
the best story of the year. So we're excited about doing that, but I'm just really excited about the number of submissions we're starting to get. So.
For sure. Thank you,
You
guys.
can submit it at thebadhire.com. So appreciate it. Y'all did good. Yeah, good stories.